Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Marie de la Vega, and this is Focus. Our guest today is Paula Mangrum. She is the founder of the Pet Pantry. Welcome. Hello.
Hi, Anna Marie. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about this topic. So tell people what the Pet Pantry is first, and then we'll talk about some of the challenges it's trying to meet.
Sure. So the Pet Pantry is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. 501c3 meaning that all donations that are made to us are tax deductible.
We like that.
Love it. The Pet Pantry provides emergency pet food assistance. Mm-hmm. We also provide some supplies as well to Middle Tennessee pet owners who are struggling to feed or provide for their pets for whatever reason.
What kind of situations might somebody get into where they're having trouble like that?
It really could run the gamut. In most cases, it's just something where someone maybe just had a one-time emergency come up. If someone is living paycheck to paycheck, as we all know, I think most of us have been there at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
It's easy for one little incident, one emergency to throw everything off.
Yeah, we the rains, we get a flood, or
sure,
things break, things flood, all kinds of stuff.
Your building could flood and you can't go into work, and the business that you work for isn't paying you for being off during that time until they're doing the renovations.
Right, all kinds of stuff.
It could be anything. People reach out to us whenever they need that assistance because, let's face it, a lot of people, their pets are their family.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes down to it, a lot of these people are having to decide between feeding themselves or feeding their pets. The mission of the Pet Pantry is to keep pets that are loved in their homes with their families. Mm-hmm. Because in a lot of cases, whenever people are unable to feed or take care of their pets, even if it's just a one-time temporary situation, they're sometimes forced to rehome or surrender their pets to a shelter or rescue. And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Okay. How do you avoid that? So people reach out to you, they just go, is there the website or something?
Yes, our website is just thepetpantry.org.
Okay.
Very simple. Mm-hmm. And anyone who needs assistance can go on there to our Get Help section and fill out our contact form to request assistance from us.
What are the requirements? Do they have to have a certain income?
There are no requirements.
Just an emergency and we need help.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't discriminate for any reason. If you need help, then if we have the resources, we will help you.
How do they get the food?
I actually deliver it. So the Pet Pantry is actually Middle Tennessee's only exclusively mobile pet pantry.
Really?
So, and while there are some resources throughout, especially throughout Nashville, Murfreesboro, some of the more populated areas, there are some shelters and rescues and even some standalone pet pantries. But the problem is in a lot of cases, in most cases actually, the hours for those are very limited. And a lot of these people don't have the resources to get to those places to pick up.
Either they have to keep working and they can't take off work because that's going to make their financial situation worse, or transportation's an issue.
Exactly. We have a lot of people who are elderly or disabled who, for some reason, whatever reason, they're not able to leave their home. They don't have a ride there. Actually bringing the food to them makes it a lot easier for them. And in a lot of cases, and not all, but in some situations, the resources that are available are only available to residents of a certain county.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but the Pet Pantry, we serve all of Middle Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So really right now it's me. So I haven't made it to where I'm able to secure a dedicated vehicle for the Pet Pantry. So right now I actually just use my personal vehicle. I pack it up and I go literally everywhere and deliver food and supplies to people who need it.
So how long have you had the Pet Pantry founded? Has it been a while, or is this the birth of something big and great?
I actually technically registered it in February of 2022.
Yeah.
So it's about 3 years old now technically, but it didn't start operating until April of last year.
Oh, so it's a baby.
It's a baby.
So we get to help grow it.
Yes. And last year alone, between April 15th and December 31st, we helped feed over 1,200 pets.
Oh, wow.
And now, and because word has really spread, it's getting really popular. People know about it all over the place. So we're getting new requests in every day.
Wow.
And just since January the 1st, maybe the first 5 or 6 weeks of 2025, I completed 193 deliveries and helped feed over 400 pets.
Wow.
So if we feed 400 pets every 6 weeks, you can already see how many are going to end up needing help for the rest of the year.
If the numbers don't go up.
That's exactly right. And really every single day that our requests have been open this year, we've had more requests than the day before.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. The need is definitely there, and which makes our need greater as well.
So what do you need from us?
Well, really, we need more people to know about us. I know that there are a ton of people out there who would love to help, who would like to donate, who would like to get involved. But really, it's difficult to spread the word. Mm-hmm. Right now, we have almost 2,000 followers on our Facebook page, but only about 140 on our Instagram. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to grow that right now and just trying to get the word out more about us.
And why is that important?
Exposure, I think, is everything, because if people don't know about us, they can't help.
I get that. Okay. So I'm like, okay, we want more followers. We want more exposure because you're already drowning in requests.
Exactly. We're drowning in requests and we need help too.
Yeah.
We are 100% nonprofit. We depend on donations, and both monetary and product donations from the people who follow us online. Mm-hmm. And that's how we keep going.
So you would rather be drowning in donations and pet supplies.
I would love it.
And then be able to take care of all the rest.
Yes, because the one thing that I can't stand is having to say no to somebody. And I've had to turn people away before, and that's not a good feeling.
Yeah. So when you have to tell people no, what happens?
Well, we have to really shut down temporarily until we're able to build up enough funding and supplies so that we can reopen. And in the interim, the people who need help from us just have to go without.
Yeah. And so that means more people trying to split their food with their pets, trying to decide what they're going to do without to feed their pets, or maybe surrendering them.
Exactly. I've had so many people reach out to me when requesting assistance and say, I'm completely out of dog food. I've been giving them our dinner leftovers or making canned chicken for them, but I'm almost out now, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Wow.
I think studies have shown that something like 30% of people who have had to rehome a pet say that if low cost or free food had been available, that's a decision that they wouldn't have had to make. Because really, pets are family to most people.
Yeah.
They love them.
Yeah.
This is a little sentient being that you have to take care of. They become part of your family.
You're responsible for them.
Exactly.
And their welfare.
Exactly. And if you can't feed them, you end up having to make heartbreaking decisions.
Yeah. Can you talk about a specific incident or maybe a couple of circumstances where you've been able to take pet food and supplies to somebody and it's made a big difference for them?
Absolutely. I actually had someone review us on our Facebook page not too long ago and said that, they had lost their job, didn't know what they were going to do. They had 4 dogs and they were struggling to feed themselves, much less their pets. They said that just receiving assistance from us prevented them from having to either rehome or surrender those dogs. The thing is, it's very hard. It's hard to see people in situations like that where they're just stuck, and really, in most cases, they have no other options. Mm-hmm. Knowing that I'm able to help those people means more than I could ever possibly say. So having to say no to anybody genuinely breaks me.
How many times have you gone and bought the pet food out of your own budget?
More times than I would like my husband to know. Especially in the beginning when not a lot of people knew about us, because that's how we got started. I funded it initially and then, just kind of hoped that people would hear about us and want to help. And I'm very guilty of that.
So what happened is more people heard about you, but in the first go around, at least more people heard about you and needed help.
Yes.
Because the need is very, very great.
The need is always going to outweigh the help, I think.
At least at this point.
Exactly. Because again, at this point, it's just me. We don't have any corporate funding or grants. The donations that we get are from our followers and people who hear about us on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's just not something that's constant. We don't
Yeah.
have a constant flow of donations.
Yeah.
So it's very touch and go. And
Yeah.
that's scary because
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to wake up to a new request and I'm going to have to say no to somebody.
Yeah. You go look and it's like, whoops, nothing there.
Exactly.
So no, is that what you're looking to get? Is steady donors, people who give like 10 a month, 20 a month,
Sure.
things like that?
The donation platform that we use allows for both one-time donations and for people to sign up to be monthly donors. I'm also looking into possibly doing something like a Patreon account where there are tiers if you want to give monthly and you get maybe little stickers or shout outs or something like that, just so somebody's getting something. We also have an Amazon wish list that people can go and order that will come directly to us.
Oh, okay. And is it called the Pet Pantry?
It is, our Amazon wish list is on our website as well.
Okay.
So, and we also actually have a donation bin for anyone who's in or around Murfreesboro. We have a donation bin at Doggy's Day Out, which is a daycare and boarding and grooming facility off of Memorial
Yeah.
Boulevard it's off of Memorial and Medical Center.
I want to remind you, if you're just joining us, I'm Anna Marie, and this is Focus, and we're talking about a nonprofit called the Pet Pantry, serving all of Middle Tennessee, and the founder of the Pet Pantry, Paula Mangrum. Do you have drop-off locations at other pet stores and things like that, or is that in the works, or are you hoping to?
Definitely in the works. We also have another drop-off at Heidi's Camp Doodle in Murfreesboro, which is another daycare and boarding facility, one that I use personally, actually.
Yeah.
Heidi's amazing. So there are a couple of options in and around Murfreesboro. I am working on donation boxes at other locations.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we do have the Amazon wish list. And if anybody just wants to donate product and they're not around that area and they prefer not to use Amazon, they can always email me at info@thepetpantry.org and arrange for me to come pick it up, because I already am driving everywhere in Middle Tennessee, so I don't mind driving somewhere to pick up donations.
Right. I'm going to pick it up and here and drop it off over there.
Exactly.
Now, what kind of pet supplies does the Pet Pantry handle?
So we actually help pets of all kinds, all shapes, all sizes, everything. It's not just dogs and cats. We have requests for bearded dragons and turtles and fish and birds and hamsters and guinea pigs. And it really, it literally runs the gamut. I have horse treats in my trunk. So
oh my gosh.
We don't discriminate against pets. Yeah. Anybody who needs help, we will help. So, but of course, it is mostly dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Those are the most common pets, right? That's the most common thing that we need help with.
Yeah.
So typically we need bigger bags of dog food for those families who have multiple bigger dogs.
Yep.
We also need small bites for people who have small dogs.
Yep.
Cat food of all kinds, wet and dry, some wet dog food as well. Sensitive stomach, just because I do my best to match the food that they're already feeding their dogs or cats or anybody, really, just because, especially with dogs and cats, any sudden change in food can cause stomach upset.
Yes.
Which is something that I make clear on our assistance request form.
Yeah.
So I do my best to match as closely as possible, but that's not always something that I can do.
It's not always possible.
So really it's just, I'll bring whatever we have. So sensitive stomach food does help for those animals who are particularly sensitive to new foods.
So is it just pet food?
Yes.
Pet foods for all pets?
All pets.
Mainly dogs and cats, number one.
Yes, number one, dogs and cats, and also everything else. I get a lot of bird requests. So probably after cats and dogs, it would be birds and guinea pigs. Probably.
Really?
Yeah, we also get requests for guinea pig bedding, for example, or, and litter also, especially. We have a big need for litter and puppy pads a lot too.
Oh, okay. So food, litter, puppy pads.
Yes.
Number one things.
Yes.
Anything else that?
I think those are the most.
So we'll know for sure. Okay,
Yes.
good. And so the Amazon wish list, we can get that at thepetpantry.org.
Yes.
What made you decide to do this, Paula?
So
Dr. Doolittle?
so funny. So in 2022, I was sitting in my living room with my Shih Tzu, Tiddlywinks.
Or Shih Tzu Tiddlywinks, of course it is.
Tiddlywinks. Tiddlywinks was my whole heart. I loved him with everything that I am. I actually lost him unexpectedly in July of 2023, which is the biggest tragedy of my life. But in 2022, I was sitting with him and just thinking about, as cliche as it sounds, how much I loved him. I would do anything for him. I would live in a mailbox if I had to make sure that I was still with him. And I got to thinking that there must be other people who felt the same way about their pets as I did. And maybe everybody who felt that way about their pets weren't as fortunate as we were, or had maybe come across hard times. And I just thought, what would I do if I ran into a situation where I wasn't getting paid, or if I got hurt and I wasn't able to provide for him? What would I do?
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't really know of any other resources, and I knew it was something that I wanted to do. I come from a really small town in Tennessee where there aren't a lot of available resources for things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do something where I could especially serve the underserved areas of Tennessee, but not discriminate against where anybody was. I want to help everybody in Middle Tennessee that I can.
Yes.
At some point, I'd love to do the entire state, but right now we're struggling to do Middle Tennessee, so we do what we can.
So what small town are you from?
I'm from Lyles.
Yes.
Do you know Lyles? It's near Dixon. It's about 50 miles west of Nashville.
Mm-hmm. And so are you still there?
I'm not. I actually live in Charlotte now, which is in Dixon County. But for the past 18 or so years, I was in Murfreesboro, which is why we have so many resources in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
My husband and I just moved back to Charlotte in October.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there now.
So are you working, what are you doing in the smaller communities now still? Do you still try and?
Oh, absolutely. Anybody that we get requests from, we go there.
Yeah.
Anybody. So on a typical Saturday, anybody who has like an emergency, an urgent situation where they're completely out of food and they need it now, I do everything I can to get that for them then. But since it's just me right now using my own car, typically most of my deliveries recently have been on Saturdays and Sundays. So typically on Saturday morning, I will see what deliveries I have. I will load up my car. I leave Charlotte and I really just make a circle from southern Middle Tennessee down to, say, we'll go to Waynesboro and Lewisburg.
Wow.
And Columbia. And then go up to McMinnville and Shelbyville and Murfreesboro.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
And then Antioch and Nashville. Typically, I'm driving for at least 400 miles on a weekend day, usually whenever I save them all up.
Oh my gosh.
We get a lot of requests. So, but again, for urgent requests, I try to make sure that I can get that to them when they need it, at least by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So in situations where if I've got somebody on the complete opposite side of where I am and I'm not going to have time, I'll send a DoorDash order or something like that just so they'll make sure that they have it.
I was wondering about that. Well, even like a lot of times Amazon, you can get same day delivery if it's over a certain amount. And a lot of times pet food would be, or next day delivery. Is that something that might help the Pet Pantry if we were to buy Amazon gift cards so you guys could use it where you need it?
Sure, absolutely. The problem with Amazon is that, and it's not a problem, but because I do use Amazon pretty often.
Yeah.
But in these smaller areas, same day and sometimes even next day delivery isn't possible.
Oh, I got you.
So that's when I use DoorDash or even Walmart delivery.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes. So anything that's available, I'm using it.
Okay. So gift cards, money, money that you can spend on whatever delivery type you need, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Do you get any discounts because you buy so much pet supplies?
Well, we are tax exempt. We're 501c, so we're tax exempt. So whenever I order from Amazon or Walmart, we don't have to pay taxes on those things, or Tractor Supply as well. So that's a plus. Mm-hmm. I'm not partnered with any pet stores right now, though I have reached out to some to see about some sort of partnership, whether it be discounts or return food that maybe they can't use.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm definitely in the works.
You're open to that possibility.
Open to literally anything.
So what else could you use? Do you need volunteers to deliver? What are you looking for specifically that we might be able to help the Pet Pantry continue its mission?
Sure, we can always use volunteers. Typically, the volunteers that I've had in the past will be able to meet me somewhere and they can take the food to whatever area they're able to go to. In most cases, just because right now we don't have a set location. We don't have a separate location where I can keep all the pet food or anything.
Yeah, here's the warehouse, my garage.
Exactly. It's my garage. So, and right now it's not my garage in Murfreesboro anymore. It's my garage in Charlotte, Tennessee, which is way over there. So it's kind of difficult logistically to arrange anything like that. So I'm hoping one day, fingers crossed, we can have a location, preferably maybe somewhere around Murfreesboro or Nashville, where that's kind of central to everybody.
Yeah.
So that volunteers could come there, pick up food, and take it to wherever it needs to go. I'm also hoping one day to be able to at least secure maybe like a small cargo van so that I'm not putting so many miles on my own car. My husband loved that. But but again, right now, you know, the funds that we do get, the priority is the food and the supplies, right? So that's where that has to be allocated right now. One day, but it's not yet.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Tell me a little bit more about, you know, I was curious. It almost seems like, I don't know if I've heard of this before or if I just imagined it while you were speaking, because my husband and I just are signing up to help deliver Meals on Wheels. And I just like, gosh, I wonder if there's some organization that you might end up eventually teaming up with where they already have people delivering food. They already have people delivering things. And then if this elderly lady happens to need food for her cat,
right,
they could take that out there as well. I hope you're able to do this.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Right now it's me.
Just you.
Which I'm fine with. Luckily, I love to drive. It's one of my favorite things. So driving, 400, 500 miles round trip on a Saturday is something that I would enjoy doing anyway. So it works out.
If you're just joining us, I'm Anna Marie, and this is Focus, and we're talking with Paula Mangrum, the founder and the employee staff of the Pet Pantry. thepetpantry.org. It's a nonprofit that helps to supply pet food, pet needs to people who just are having a hard time. And if somebody wants to get more information and find out how to help, what do you want them to look for specifically at thepetpantry.org?
So we have different sections, obviously, for whether they need help or whether they'd like to donate or sign up to be a volunteer or get something from our Amazon wish list.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any questions or wants any additional information that they're not able to find on our site, they can always email me at info@thepetpantry.org.
I think we should go ahead and put out a challenge right now. Do you have packages on your Amazon wish list? Do you have here's just buy a bag of dog food, buy a bag of cat food? Do you have it laid out like that?
We do have it to where, because the way that it's set up, the wish list, it's how many of these do you need? So I think I put something between 4 and 10 of everything, but you can buy any number of whatever that you'd like to have.
Okay, so what do you need most? Let's do a challenge and let's go hit the Amazon wish list. We're all going to do it. We're going to buy what?
What we need most is bigger bags of dog food.
Okay.
Smaller bags of dog food with small bites for the little tiny babies. Cat food, both wet and dry.
So we're going to start there.
Yes.
Big bags of dog food for large dogs and multi-dog families. Smaller bites, smaller bags for the littler dogs, and cat food, wet and dry.
Yes.
Go do one of those today, please.
That would be amazing.
Let's do 10 or 20 today at least.
That would be great.
That's 20. That's all we need. 20 people who are listening, 20 people who hear this and know, well, I can buy a bag of cat food. I bought lots of cat food for my cat. I buy lots of dog food for my dogs. I can do that. And I will do that for the Pet Pantry and for all those folks who are suffering when they see their pet suffering, when they know I can't take adequate care of my pet. Not only does your heart hurt, but you have this horrible shame and this horrible you're blaming yourself.
Yes.
And stuff happens and you can't help it. There are things out of your control. And for when that happens, there are good souls like Paula Mangrum, the founder of the Pet Pantry, and we're going to help her. Thepetpantry.org, correct?
Yes.
Any final thoughts? Anything I've neglected to ask about?
All I would ask is if you're not able to donate, if you're not able to go onto the Amazon wish list and order something, I would so appreciate shares, follows on social media, because that's how we get the word out, right?
Yeah.
Right now we have about 2,000 followers on Facebook. You can find us there at the Pet Pantry Middle TN.
Okay.
You can also find us on Instagram, where we need the most followers, at the Pet Pantry _ Middle TN.
Okay, so basically look for the Pet Pantry.
Yes.
On social media. And the reason the followers is important is the more people who know about the Pet Pantry, the more help people can get, but also the more donations the Pet Pantry can get to reach more people and continue that mission.
Exactly. In this day and age, social media is the best way to spread the word about anything.
All
That's
right.
what we need.
Thank you. Paula Mangrum, the founder of thepetpantry.org, a great nonprofit we're happy to be able to tell you about today. Please make sure you join us again next week. I'm Anna Marie, and that's Focus.